Kia ora mai anō rā e ngā iwi. Tomorrow, the Waitangi Tribunal meets with the New Zealand Māori Council and the Crown to discuss whether there will be an urgent hearing into Māori rights to fresh water. Now, in a moment, we'll hear from Sir Graham Latimer, the chair of the New Zealand Māori Council and the father of Section 9, as well as Deputy Prime Minister Bill English. But first, Adrian Stevenon puts his toe in the waters of the north.
Water, 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, and for the whānau in Poroti, it's a huge part of life. Here, spring water pours out of the ground. According to John Key, no one owns it, which is news to Māori here. Talk to them and they'll tell you it's been theirs for generations.
There was always a question, when didn't we never believe that we had this interest in the springs, being that we've been in occupation physically for at least the last 500 years of this particular source. The fact that it's actually called Poroti, the fact that it's called Waipau, it was named by my people many, many years ago, and if that doesn't indicate that you have a rightful, or the rightful heirs to it, I don't know what is.
The water from the springs forms the Waipau stream, which feeds the Wairua and Wairoa rivers. As for Māori across the motu, water here is far more than something you just drink or wash with. It has its own Wairoa, a life force that protects its people. During the Second World War, several men from the area joined the 28th Māori Battalion. All were baptised in the sacred spring, all returning home safely.
We are obligated and responsible to take care of that very sacred gift that comes from the gods themselves and that emerges from within our ancestress, whatitiri.
The water flows from their maunga whatitiri. The head of the spring emerges on 2 acres of land owned by the Whatitiri Māori Reserves Trust, which represents the hapu of Te Ururoroi, Te Parawhau and Te Māhure Te Whatitiri.
When people came here to gather the resources of the Waipau stream, they would always give recognition to the people who lived here. It was the proper thing to do. It was the appropriate thing to do. You didn't come in a way that Māori call pokanoa, where you just come and help yourself to something. You always gave recognition and acknowledgement to the people of the land.
That recognition, they say, no longer exists. The hapu here still use the water, but in a limited capacity. It's piped to the marae across the road, to their nursery, and personal collections are permitted, but they have no say over the water's quality, its use, or who can use it, and none of it's available to the hapu for commercial use. Those rights have already been allocated by the regional council. The first to take water is a bottling company called Zodiac Holdings, which pulls its water up from bores across the road from the spring. They can take up to 500,000 litres a day, and their licence allows them to do this for the next 35 years. Up till now, commercial takes only lasted 10 years. Further downstream, the Mangakahia Water Company has their take. Their allocation entitles them to 19 million litres a day. That's equivalent to 8 Olympic-sized swimming pools to sell to local farmers and orchards. Again, they can do this for the next 35 years. Finally, further downstream, the Whangarei District Council has its operation. The water collected supplies around 20% of the city's needs. Again, the council can take from the stream for the next 35 years. So for 35 years, the hapu are shut out. While they have some access to the water, they feel aggrieved that they have no say over the water that sustained its people for centuries. No rights to the water they say they've protected and preserved since their ancestors made this place home.